Somebody asked me, what is the correct advice for the children? Advice is important on two occasions. Then there is a future to be implemented. The this can be implemented in the future that is relevant. That what should be anxious to have the advice, leading the advice, looking for the advice anxiously so that he can implement. Follow the advice. That is something. Elsewhere, where the advice cannot be followed, it is waste of breath. All children need an advice. So, particularly as a grandpa, I am facing many children. So, my advice is meant only for the children. Others will elaborate on my talk at home. When you go home, your parents will explain what I meant if you don't understand what I meant. So, for that reason, they will also be the listener. So, in our tradition, always an author would write a book. That is a tradition. Some other gentleman, 100 years later or 200 years later, would write a commentary on that. Subsequently, even on the comment, there is a discussion. So, one is known as the Ardham and Tapkata. The second one is the Bhashyam. Bhashyam is elaborate discussion. On the discussion, there is a third attempt to clarify the text. That is known as the Vartikam. That's a half Vriti. Brahma Sutra are there, for example. Then there is a Tarparyam, somebody has made a Bhashyam. And then Vartikam is, it is defined like this. Vartikam should bring out anything that has not been said between two sentences. The author has taken it for granted that the reader will understand. That is one. Then, some places, amplification. Some more elaboration was necessary, but he did not do it. Therefore, the author has left it to the Vrittikara, that is, he. Similarly, when you listen to one talk, the commentary on that, discussion on that, elaboration, amplification, discussion, all these things you should follow. Although I am not one of those great authors, I may be saying a few things which may be incomplete. It will be completed by your parents. అర్థమవుతుంది నేను క్లియర్గా ఉంది కదా. మీరంతా ఇంగ్లీష్ మీడియంలో ఉన్నారు కాబట్టి తెలుగే రాదు మీకు, అందుకని ఇంగ్లీష్ చెప్తున్నాను. So, the question is, the advice is, we do many things in life. Why is it possible? Why? This is the biggest question. That's a question always challenging me also every day morning. WHY, why? It stands before me. Only one personality does not say question, that is the God. He knows why anything is taking place, why is not anything taking place. Everyone else needs this question. Why? Now, we say so many things. Be a good child, listen to your mommy and father. Follow the advice and instructions of your father. Why is the question. You must study well, go to school, be a good child, good student. Must score very good mark. Why? Then they will say, being a good child will please your mother. But should the mother be pleased? If so, why? You must be obedient to your father, because father will be pleased if you are obedient. That is the direct effect. Is it necessary? Why? Why should the father be pleased? Then studying, very good, 90%, 99%, 99.99%. Why? You will get a first class degree, then you will be a doctor, you will be an engineer, then a PhD and all that. Why? You have to take up a very good job. You'll have to. Why a job? But earn well. Where? Why should they be earning? What's the purpose of earning? Success is the goal in life. What is success again? And why success? What is success is a big question. Is earning lots of money, taking the top in your profession. You call it success. And why that success? It means if it does not take place, what would happen is the indirect question. Suppose I don't get a first class, I don't get a seat in engineering or medicine. What is wrong with it? If I don't obey my mother, what is wrong with it? If I am not pleasing my father, what is wrong with it? This is a question actually that is lurking in the one and all today. Even the Prime Minister, he has been leading a party, he has been elected, lot of struggle, Kashmakash and that. So he reached the top, he is a Prime Minister. That was all the goal he had to become a PM. Now that goal is reached. This question is with him. Why should I be the PM? He spends sleepless nights because he doesn't find the answer. Every day he comes with an answer. His mind comes back to him with an answer. The answer is not valid the next day. So the answer is not found. Ultimately, if you know why anything should be done, what is the purpose of life, what should we do with ourselves in our life, if this question is clearly understood, everything, all whys would become part of it. You don't have too many whys, it's only one why is there. That why should be asked. Of course, the answer is given by many people in many ways. If you ask a patriotic politician, he would say all of us must become good politicians, must be patriotic, love your country, serve your country, society and all. He knows only that much. But why should I be patriotic? You can't. He will not be able to answer that. Suppose you ask a doctor, suppose your uncle is a doctor, an eminent physician or cardiologist or somebody, yes, radiologist. Then, uncle, I want to, what's the best sports? There are two kinds of answers. Never become a doctor, one uncle says. That means he is not happy with himself. The other uncle says, you must be a good doctor because he is happy as a doctor. The answer is personal answer, not yours. The answer doesn't belong to you. The answer belongs to him. So he is speaking from his personal experience, his life, his life, his experiences. So how can two uncles give you two opposite answers and yet be right? Either both are wrong or both are right. Ultimately, the ancient Hindu or Indian culture long ago found out this answer. All of us should understand that particular answer to this biggest $1 billion question that every one of us is facing. They knew the ultimate answer. It is difficult to agree with them because it's most difficult to understand. Unless we understand somebody's viewpoint, it is impossible to agree with. And what do you mean by agreeing with the other? Suppose I would say about Gautama Maharshi or Bharadwaja Maharshi and give you the reply that he has given to this wife. Can you ever become equal to him in understanding? Is it necessary for you to become another great Maharshi in order to understand him and agree with him? They said, no, it is not necessary. You can be what you are. You can be a small kid. And yet, agree with me. But don't insist on understanding the reason, understanding my answer, but agree with. The difference is in today's culture, educational system, politics or science, anything, if somebody is agreeing with him, it automatically is taken to be that he has understood. To understand and then to agree is not possible in all circumstances, in all subjects, with all personality. So what they said was, follow the advice of the elder. You will understand when you have reached the goal, when you have reached the finale, the finality of your achievements and things. Then you would look back and see that advice, that answer, that elderly gentleman had given me when I was a child is, after all, the only answer that this question has. Whenever a question has a single answer, it must get answered. If it has two answers, they must be partly right. If there are too many answers, none of them is right. This is how we have to understand. I am asking the children to think. You don't have to. You don't have to understand all answers. That is why when you put a question, why? Why should I be a good citizen? Why should I love my country? Because immediately you would say, the politician would say, what else do you propose to do? No, sir, I don't want to be a great patriot because you have sacrificed everything. You don't house or a car being a patriot. Maybe your statue will be in the center of the city after your death. I am not interested in my statue after my death. I am interested in my happiness. Good cars, good money, enough money, good bungalow, and things like that. By being a patriot, I don't want to live like you. Then you would say, oh, these are called values. This is called sacrifice. Sacrifice for the sake of the country will enthuse, will inspire others to be good citizens. Therefore, they will not be harming the society or prospering at the cost of the society. Then the society will be very good. Equitable distribution of opportunities, money, and good life in the society. So there are some good results ultimately in the entire country. That's why you should be a patriot. In spite of these things, you are not content. Because the example that you are seeing before you is not encouraging. The patriot is suffering. He doesn't have a house. Suffering doesn't encourage. But again, why should there be a good society? Why should I sacrifice? Why should I love my motherland? What is wrong with my being prosperous? These questions are we put him. He would not be able to. Why should the country be good? Why should the society be happy? Why should there be equal opportunities and chances for one and all? Why should I not follow what is prosperity for myself? These questions cannot be answered. And his answer is no answer to your question. So then people call it, this girl is like that gentleman is like that. So different attitudes, they work like that. After all, they are guided by their own attitude. And if you ask somebody else, a rationalist, he would say, he was born like that. Even after he sacrificed, the country is still like that. I don't believe that these sacrifices do not really matter. After all, the personal prosperity of this girl has pleased with parents. So personal happiness is more important. The third person gives a judgment about these two. He need not be right. Then ultimately, who is the giver of the right answer to you? That answer, who gives you the right answer from within, is called your conscience. Now we have arrived at something. The correct authority who can give you the right answer to you. That answer need not be valid or correct to the others. Conscience is the most important thing that presides over your personality. It is the chairman of your personality. You are the follower. He is the guide. Those who recognize this great guide within shall always be guided correctly. Any external personality, outsider, who is not your uncle or father or grandpa, anybody or a teacher, they may give you these answers from their likes and dislikes. Some of them give their answer from their experiences. Some or one of them, 1 in 10, may give you this answer from his conscience. So this conscience is growing in you every day. This conscience, does it know all answers correctly? No, it gives the answers honestly. Correctly is the second point. Firstly, the answer is honest. So what more is required? Education, knowledge, judgment. These things must be acquired by this conscience. Can't issue the correct answer. Then, initially, one must expose himself to the realities of life. Think well. Why is the question for everything? You must make this good discussion to yourself. I'll be this or that. I may be a great bureaucrat or a businessman. I'll be successful materially. But then, even then, why? Without it, what would happen? Ultimately, in the ultimate analysis, one would arrive at one's ultimate answer. That is truthfulness. Truthfulness is, what is truthfulness ultimately? Truthfulness is when you understand a situation, you have no stakes or you have some stakes in it, but keeping your personal interest aside, looking at a matter impartially as though it is somebody's matter, arriving at a judgment and following it. That is not truth. You don't have any. You may lose in this. You may gain. Keep these interests aside. Follow what your conscience tells. Following the conscience in spite of its being beneficial to you or not is called truthfulness. It requires courage to follow what your conscience tells you. Your mind comes into the conflict. Suppose I owe you some money. I have to give you. I have some money, but I would like to postpone. My conscience tells me I must give it to you. My mind tells me, no, why don't you postpone? Who is right after all? Conscience is right. Who is this mind? Whose mind is it? Why is this mind? My mind is looking at my coat pockets. My conscience is looking at my morals. So this is the conflict. A courageous man follows the conscience. Following conscience is truthfulness. This is the path given to us by the ancient sages of this country. You have a conscience. You put this question, why? Go on putting the questions. You get a reply, why? One more reply, why again? Sometimes I would say, so what? That has been my pet question. I will go there. I will gain something. So what? That has been my pet question. I've adopted this question to myself all the time. You don't go there. Why? You will lose. So what? You will go on losing. So what? Ultimately, I found that nothing needs threaten me. Anything can happen any number of times in any direction. Ultimately, nothing is going to even touch me. As somebody says, the other day, about 5 years ago, Swamiji, why don't you wear kashaya vastram? Why? I said, that is respectable. So that means the other side is not respectable. Wearing white clothes is comfortable clothes, and this is not respectable. Certainly, I don't say it is not respectable. That's more respectable. Certainly, why should I be respectable? Why should you not be respectable? You are a good man. If I am not respected, so what? Nobody bothers about you, sir. You are not recognized. So what? You deserve recognition, but you are not getting that recognition because you don't wear that kind of, there is a version for that. So what? Somebody may misunderstand you. So what? Somebody fails to understand you. So what? Somebody may give false judgments on you. So what? Ultimately, in the ultimate analysis, I found nothing is lost because nothing is gained the other side. In the other side, nothing is gained, therefore nothing is lost. This is called concept. Sometimes maybe it's a cussedness, sometimes stupidity. మూర్ఖత్వం అంటారే కసెట్నెస్ అంటే there is no other equal equal. That could be so. So what? Even if it is మూర్ఖత్వం, so what? So why should I not be a murkha? What is it? Is it not my birthright to be a murkha? Why not? I mean, see, in this process, then how can you talk like this? Somebody said, see, it is the birthright of every soul to be a murkha or a jnani, or to be an average man. It is birthright, that's all about it. So, in order to become something in the eyes of somebody, if I am doing something to become what I am not, to try to become something that you are not, is called loss of your independence. You are being dictated by the opinions of others. That is not conscience. Coming to conscience back, conscience is something which does not look at the others. It looks at you, your actions, your thoughts, your judgment. That is what conscience is. This conscience has to be educated to give you the correct answers for all questions in life. That education to the conscience, not mind. There are many scholars. Minds are highly educated. Minds are brilliant. They can speak on all sides, extempore, not like me, very brilliantly. But the question is the mind is so sharp and educated, is the conscience educated? That's a different matter. You can ask them in private. This no third person they may agree. My conscience is not educated. Let me honestly tell you. They may say so. The conscience has to be educated. That education of the conscience is known as Dharma. Dharma is righteousness. Being always right. Always being right does not mean that you will gain anything. Dharma may show you the path where you are likely to lose many things. Conscience is educated about Dharma. Mind is always educated very sharply about Adharma. That is the nature of mind. Mind looks at your body, your coat pockets, your bank accounts, your material happiness. Conscience does not. It doesn't simply care. What happens? To follow conscience, to follow an educated conscience, to follow the conscience that is educated about Dharma, what is righteous, a righteous conscience is very difficult to obey. That needs courage. If that is developed in you from today, one day you will be, the ultimate goal is reachable. Because the question why is again there. Why should I become something? When you reach the goal on this path, you will realize at that time, then at the end of the journey, you will realize, I have done the right thing. I have followed my conscience. My conscience is correctly educated about righteousness. What I have done, what I have not done, has always been the right thing. In not doing something, I was right. In doing something, I was right. In other words, that's called no regrets. No regret situation. Success of life is called a regretless life. I should not have done that. I should have done this. This kind of statements about oneself. You know, when in your old age, when you take long evening walks, and goes on bugging, bothering you. Then he talks to himself like this. I should not have done it. There's nobody to talk to him. He speaks to himself. That's a miserable condition in your old age. When a man starts talking to himself, finish. That is not healthy. Because he's bugged by his conscience. His own judgments are all directed against himself, criticizing him. It could be anything. I should have bought that property that day. It came just for a song that day. I missed it. Today it's worth billions of rupees. I said I spurned the offer at the time. How foolish was I? And now that he biting his teeth, he walks in the evening. Yeah, that is a sure way of developing very good, healthy acidic ulcer. It never dies. That's it. One should not regrets. Suppose his conscience is followed. Yes, there was lot of profits in that. My conscience told me that I should not run after this wealth and money accumulation. I did the right thing. I was very correct in not running after that prosperity. Conscience gives him the strength, courage. When you say, I followed my conscience, there's nothing to regret. Those who have not followed conscience, their conscience always have regrets in old age. Any regret in the old age is a minus mark on the success of life. Regretless evening of life is called a success. Remember, moral values. Sometimes moral values are all good, no doubt. Righteous things we are told about. Speak the truth, sacrifice something for the others, be kind, be grateful. This, pardon your enemy, or punish the bad, what come what may. These are all known to us. And I know all the morals. What else is there for me to know? Yes, there is something more. Knowing all principles of morality is one thing. Knowing how to apply a moral value appropriately at the appropriate right time, correct time, is another. Application of values is called discretion. That is the knowledge of conscience. Knowledge of conscience means correct judgment in the applying the moral value. The right judgment. Sometimes telling a lie may be morally very correct. There are two levels of propriety. But proper, knowing the moral very well, and by applying that moral in a situation, whether you are depriving somebody of something, harming somebody, going against the interest of somebody, some poor man, or you are responsible for somebody being put to great loss. Suppose, I will give you an example. A young girl is chased by some gunda. She comes to your house, asks for shelter. She will give a shelter to her. The gundas come later. Some girl was running beside. I think they suspect that she has entered your house. What should you do? If you are very keen on speaking the truth, would you give away that girl to the gundas? It's the right application of falsehood. Falsehood is rightly applied here. Everything in this world has some good purpose. Falsehood, theft, for example. Theft is one of the 64 fine arts our people had developed. Taskaranam pate namo namah. In Rudram we say, Lord of all thieves is one great quality that he is praised about. What is Taskaranam pate namo? Stenanam pate namo namah. What is Stenanam? People who steal gold. They say, I don't know, today the phenomenon starts with us. People used to call everybody names with those days. The goldsmith steals, even when a jewel is made for his own daughter. People used to say, I don't know, I'm not certifying that. Must be all false also, we don't know. Because he might have stolen the gold from others only for the sake of his daughter. Those who steal gold, you are their Lord. How is it, I say, then what is the use of worshipping this God? The idea is, people are sinful, they are committing sin. So, for punishment, They have to suffer at somebody's hands. Those who are responsible for the suffering of somebody are ruled by you. So you are the punisher through these people. Otherwise, would he come and hit you personally? So he has created the bad people to punish the bad people. So in this creation, nothing is wrong. Everything must be understood. This is how you educate your conscience about the application of a moral value appropriately at the right time for a good cause, not for your benefit. If that is done for your own personal material benefit, that is wrong. We should be courageous, we should be bold to know about this. So this is Dharma. Dharma is not a list of moral values like speak the truth and things like that. Application of a principle is Dharma. That is called the education of the conscience. Such a conscience will always guide you. You don't have a guru, you don't have a school teacher, you don't have a father or grandfather to tell you things. Conscience is enough. Then the second thing is, however much we are educated about the morality and the dharma and this righteousness in this world, still there may be a wrong guidance sometimes. There may be a misadventure or wrong guidance. So then, the second thing is, the conscience must be surrendered to the God. God, you are present everywhere, inside me also. I am following my conscience, thinking that I am doing the right thing. If there is anything wrong in what I do or my thinking, please guide me from within. Because I don't. Firstly, there should be a desire not to be wrong. I don't want to be wrong. Come what may. I may lose, I may gain. Whatever. I don't want to be wrong. That desire gives a courage. If you surrender, this is known as surrender to God. Whatever may happen to me, if you are the guide presiding over my conscience, I shall be guided correctly, and then I shall not become responsible for what I do, since you are presiding over that. So education of the conscience and the application of moral values, and then surrendering the judgment to the God is the right thing to do. You don't have to be successful in life for being a great person, the right person. Success is not the only right thing in this life. Sacrifice of success is also the right thing. Sacrifices of prosperity is also the right thing. For some value. So when you put this question, why? Why should I get my marks? Only to please my mother, sir. Why should I please my mother? She may take the cane. Or my father may be displeased. My father starts worrying about my not getting my marks. So for his sake, I would get my marks, although I don't care about it. That could be so. For everything, the immediate answer to this question, why, is found. It may not be ultimately true. It may be relatively true for that moment. Follow it. Ultimately, keep this question with you all the time. Whenever you do, whatever you do, something that is guided by your desires, ambitions, judgments of others binding on you, things like that. Whatever you do, sometimes a man would be very happy when he does not get anything, when there is no suffering. But if conscience is telling him, there is an inner voice, this inner voice starts slowly developing within. So ultimately the inner voice, that is the conscience, rules. It tells you, don't bother about it. You have lost this game. You will continue to lose this also tomorrow and after. It is likely to happen. Do not regret. It's a good party. No regret. Our regrets are the result of our own judgment. We think success in a particular adventure is very important. Losing that adventure may be utterly good for the long run. We don't know. In other words, surrender to the God, surrender to destiny. This is what is known as destiny. I'm not touching about destiny. I'm only talking about conscience, educating the conscience. What is education? I've defined righteousness, sacrifice, and things like that, and not regretting what you have done or what you have not done when you're old. Happiness or the opposite of it are not necessarily bad in the ultimate meaning of life. There is certain ultimate meaning of life. Even losses, difficulties, troubles, they are all not to be considered as bad. When we aim at happiness, sorrow is bad. When you aim at gains, loss is bad. So, it is termed bad because we have trained your mind to think a certain thing is good. The opposite is bad. Life must be taken as it is, but whenever we put this question to ourselves, immediately nothing is important except following the conscience. You will not have regrets in life. Is it clear? Any question? 40 minutes? You don't have to put a question. Only this. Not compulsory to put a question. Only there's a question. How do you think about it? Think. Apply this why to every aspect, to every day to day, everything that you do. Apply, put this question. Even very good things like patriotism, belief in God. Why should I be a good man? Is also a question. Certainly, why should you not be a bad man? With all the results of it. Could be. We speak of moral values. Basically, these moral values have been questioned. The why has been applied to almost all philosophies and belief in God and religions and things like that by rationalists. I'm telling you. Those rationalists they never got a proper answer. They ended up only in rationalism without ever getting a reply, correct answer to these questions. Why should I believe in God? I don't want to believe in God. Yes, you are welcome not to believe in God. That's what God has said it. The God has said. God has never bothered to be believed in. If that were so, he would appear like a huge devilish shape here before us and threatened us to believe in. He not bothered. Suppose he makes an appearance in the parliament when it is in full session. But I am here, don't forget. I will punish those people who are not righteous. The lawmakers here are all crooks. I will punish all. Suppose he said it, things would have been far better than now. Or they would not have been better now. Who knows? They would have passed a resolution to ban this God. Man can do anything. So what he did, the greatest thing about the wisdom of God is never attempting to be worshipped. Never attempting to prove to anyone that he exists. That's called wisdom. The ultimate limit of wisdom is this. Because he doesn't benefit you. He believes in benefiting everything in this world and allows every creature to grow up to a level, develop that kind of sense to realize what is good but himself, ultimate. So, when he one day realizes what is ultimately good for himself, he would believe in me. That is the attitude. Before a man is ripe enough to realize what he is good, ultimately good for himself, before that, even one day before that, he would refuse to believe in God. He would care to believe in the wrong type of God. Wrong side of God. He allows you to grow, so he is not anxious. Faith. Faith is a stage in life. Faith is not something that we can inculcate or inject into somebody. Yes, certainly I can make you develop a faith in God. Is that enough? Faith in God is one thing, faith in morals is another. At the same time, they must coexist. Having faith in God is one thing, but having faith in God, why? Why did you have faith in God? To do what? What for did you have? Have you developed a faith in God? So that I believe in God, I have faith in God. So I wait for His grace when I am in difficulty. That is one reason, one can say. Or so that I do not commit anything wrong because of my faith in God. That is another reason. Third reason is accept my karma with faith in God. He may save me, He may not save me. Ultimately, His grace will take me to Him. I am being cleansed. Faith in God. So faith in God is one thing, which if it is followed by certain judgments, the faith has served its purpose. Yes, faith in God must result in something. We all believe in God, but do we have faith in God? Please the question. Believing in God and having faith in God are two different layers. All of us believe in God, but what has He resulted? What has this belief resulted in? It must lead to faith in God. Believing in God means, yes, I believe that there is a God. That's all about it. But I have faith in God means I have a personal relationship with Him. It's a personal relationship. Then the third thing is the result of it. I have decided to accept all that comes my way without complaint. If at all there is a complaint, I shall not complain against anyone in this world. I will only complain to Him. Complaining against anyone is the result of a shaky faith in God. If our faith in God is somewhat shaky, I start complaining because of that person I lost this, I would say. Then it's not necessary. Faith in God is such, He shall certainly take care of it. If I am losing something today, because I have faith in God, this is the right thing for me to happen. Because He is my caretaker, protector. He is the witness. His presence is in me. So my loss today has His sanction. So I shall take it without complaint. But one must have the courage. Somebody may say, sir, I have great faith in God. I have been worshipping God. I have been doing puja every day for 35 years, 40 years. Look what has happened to me. I had great faith in my boss. He denied my promotion. He threw me into the junk. Every way I have started losing. Could this be the result of my faith, sir? Exactly, it is the result of your faith. Yeah. If we had not such great faith, that deep faith in God, you would have been definitely prosperous. How do you account for it, sir? Certainly He wants to cleanse you, clean you. His karma, your karma is washed by His grace. You try when your mother was washing you? When you were a little infant? You didn't like being cleansed. You liked very much to roll in the mud. So that is your mother, father is cleansing you in your own interest. Don't you wash the clothes? Beat them? Cleansing is a painful process. All people who had faith in God did go through this. It may be painful. Yes, if it is painful, you cry. But behind this crying, there should be satisfaction. Crying is not a crime. Behind this crying, there should be some wisdom. That what is said approves this crying, understands this crying. Then a song can make us cry. But then suffering, crying and suffering, but accompanied by a wisdom about the presence of the God. And after all is said and done, what is God's attitude to you? There's only one attitude of God: kindness, grace. There's no other attitude of God towards anyone. Even on Rakshasas, Danavas, only grace was there. But then he killed him. Yes, he saved him by killing. She is her son quarreling with children, or committing a theft, or doing something wrong. What she does is she takes the child away to prevent further errors. Where does he go after all? He goes only to the God. In this universe, everywhere, God is present in the hell also, not necessarily in the heaven. Is there a place without him? So even when we are suffering, he is the person who is the force that watches us. All that you know, you have to understand, develop in your mind is awareness of his presence. Constant presence you must be aware of, and that should result in an acceptance of a situation. Situation that is painful also must be accepted. People have our prosperity earns some more money, about a few more millions, or losing a million. They don't really matter at all. In the ultimate balance sheet, everything is rightly posted. Today's losses and gains, they don't decide the balance sheet. Everything is compensated, everything is set right. And later, the year is yet to complete. We have to reach the 31st of March. It's only then you have to strike the balance sheet. How can you decide in the month of July and be sad about your present turnover, or is that another 6 months or so many 9 months is yet to go? This is, I don't know whether I am able to speak clearly to you, but think about it. About this should be your attitude to yourself. If somebody else is suffering, be sympathetic to them. Go to their rescue, help them. Don't apply the philosophy to the others. Apply all philosophies only to yourself. Somebody else is losing, don't tell him, philosophies, it's very good that you are losing. I'm happy God is cleaning you. I would like you to see, go on this manner for several years to come, and then complain about a thorn in your foot. Cry loud in your own house, asking everybody's sympathy. Right? Philosophy, right understanding, conscience is applicable to you, not to the others, not to your neighbor. That's ultimate root. Situations of others are not your terms. What he expects from you as a help, sympathy, must be given. Very important. When Guruji was going with his disciples to Kashi, so they were all, this in a kind of a nightfall. We did not have harmony and things like that in those days. We did not have Prabhat uncle's tiffins ready in those days. They were going. Some roar of a lion or something like that was heard from a distance. Only Guruji heard because he was sharper than the others. So then what he said, he called all his disciples and said, don't be afraid. All of you appear to be really afraid of something happening in this jungle. After all, God is going to protect all of us. So if you are afraid, sit in 2 circles around me. I center saving you all. How is it? So, others' fear is no doubt recognized, or it is They are made to feel bold because of his presence, and their boldness is his gain. That should not be the case. If somebody is really afraid, you go and stand guard for him. You sleep, I'll stand here. That should be the case. When others are in distress, be a human being. Don't philosophize. What is expected of you by the others must be given. Certainly not philosophy, if he doesn't want to take it. It's a very important one. But when whenever there is a thought in you, this question was, and in the ultimate analysis, so what? That has been my golden question to myself. It has always saved me. Ultimately, everything vanished in thin air. What appeared to be very great, a terrific situation. All right, it is going to happen tomorrow. So what? So what? So what? So what? In the ultimate analysis, I found all threatening, impending dangers vanishing to thin air. I could have a sound sleep. Okay, I wish you all excellent health, cheerful attitude, best of success, and best of attitude in success or failure. Always self-confidence and being pleasant and happy outlook on life, developing that, being a pleasant person in anybody's company. It is good to be back. You must be a pleasant person. By God's grace.